Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go-to film enthusiast. Every week I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and this is a special edition of Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. And I'm very lucky to have with me a wonderful group of gentlemen here from the new dramedy Woodstockers. We have showrunner and star Corbin Bernsen. Corbin, welcome.
Hello. Hi.
We also have director Oliver Bernsen. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we have also a star to the film, Mr. Stephen Tobolowsky. So, gentlemen, I watched the film last night. It was wonderful, very funny, very deep, an overall great experience. I just wanted to know, Corbin, what was the genesis of this idea of a film?
Really, two paths to it. One was I moved up to this area in the Hudson Valley near Woodstock during the pandemic, and I just saw a lot of people from a generation that I really admired. That I was just slightly younger, but I loved the music. I loved the notion of I grew up. We were all protesting the war in Vietnam, so that
Mhm.
was my childhood. And this was the group of people up here, the Woodstock generation, that was really leading it with the, peace, love, and music. Uh, so I was enamored with the type of people, but I was also taken like how many people are still here living the Woodstock dream. I called them Woodstockers. And it's only when I went back to LA after we had actually moved up here, we were stuck in LA during COVID, and I got the idea of this. At first, it was, I'll be honest, at first I thought I'm going to do a stoner comedy about two guys who went to Woodstock and never left, and they're like sort of Bill and Ted at 70,
Right.
Cheech and Chong at 70. But I had a good fortune to talk to a fellow named Michael Lang, who has since passed away, who was one of the organizers. And he read the first four episodes I wrote, and this is good, but he urged me to look a little deeper about what the movement really was about and look into the people. And also, I didn't know at the time, but he was dying. And that sort of got me into looking at my own life and the amount of time I have left and coming to terms with, which was the second part of this film, is, a guy who's reached a certain point in his life where there's not a lot of time left and has to do a reckoning of his life. And so I married those two ideas together. And he just happens to be from a period of time where the idealism of peace, love, and music, it didn't work. It didn't work. And
Mhm.
his life, whatever he's done, hasn't worked. So together they've
Mhm.
got to sort of figure out the path forward.
Yeah, and it's a great path. So I've seen you and Steven working off each other. You're just fantastic throughout the whole thing. I had a lot of Big Lebowski vibes about it. So it was great.
Good.
Um, Steven, how did you get on board and what attracted you to the role?
Corbin. Corbin attracted me to the role when one of my first big jobs in LA was a sitcom. I was doing a sitcom that was failing, and we had done something like seven shows. And instead of just firing everybody, they said,
Mhm.
let's change what sitcom this is, keep everybody, and bring in this guy, Corbin Bernsen, to be the
Mhm.
star. And then we did whole new the same cast, the same people. We just switched which kind of sitcom we did, and Corbin was the star of it. And I saw the magic of Corbino. You know, he brings a work ethic and he brings a sincerity, and everybody got better when Corbin got on. So through the years, when Corbin is, rung my number, whatever, I always listened to it seriously. And he showed me the script, and I thought, let's do it.
Nice.
If you're going to be involved, let's do it. That was it.
That was it. And the rest is history.
The
And
rest is
again,
history.
yeah, no, you guys are just so perfect together. I love the chemistry.
But it's also nice that
Um,
we had this 30 years of
mm,
history for real.
yeah.
Is it 30 years? I guess so.
Oh God.
how,
Yeah. It's killing me. Yeah. Yeah.
how do you
But
keep how do you keep that friendship, that professional personal relationship alive after so long?
well, for me, for me,
Mhm.
it's just what friendships and marital relationships, all those things are based on what do you hold sacred
Mm,
and what is a throwaway for you. And
mm,
when the sacred thing is the same, then you can have a friendship that goes through your entire life and a marriage that goes through your entire life. And when you have throwaways that are not
mm.
the same, you can have catastrophe. And
Right.
and so I think that is the key. What do we treasure and what do we throw away? And I think that's kind of what the movie's about.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Oliver, sorry, I don't want to exclude you, sir, but
No, I love
yeah.
listening to these guys talk. It's pretty much why I
So,
did it.
um, but what initially attracted you to the film?
I think, seeing Corb work on it for a long time, and it just, I watched this gestation period of it, and um, we've done a bunch of stuff to get, like, I everything that I've ever made, I've always put him in just because he's great and I love him, and I think I was watching him write this and revise it and come up with new iterations of it. And right before we did this, we had actually shot a feature, and he was in that. And I think he saw us making this feature in a very kind of like scrappy grassroots way, and he was really attracted to that. And he came to myself and Zoe, our producer, and was like, guys, I want to shoot this pilot, and I want to do it for very little money, and would you guys kind of help me with that? And I think that's a great thing when you can have, someone that is your parent that's helped you your entire life do things, to then come to you and ask you for help, is just an amazing thing to be able to give back and reciprocate in that way. And then that was the initial part, and then it was like, great, we have Steven, we have Barbara, we have Susan, we have just, like, I mean, so many incredible people. Like, even if he
Yeah.
wasn't my dad and had asked me, I would have jumped at the opportunity to work with all these incredible legends.
See, personally, I can't imagine myself working with my father, so that's a me issue.
I'm not saying it
But
was easy, but
yeah, okay, yeah, I was about to ask you, like,
yeah.
what were some of the hurdles working with family?
I think our family is all very opinionated, and we have ideas about what we think is right, but we also are like incredible collaborators, and
Mm,
sometimes you realize that friction actually creates energy and life and true, something novel and interesting, and those sparks are like the lifeblood of a lot of great things.
mm,
And so, it was fun a lot of the time. We have a lot of fun working together, and we also argue about things. And I don't know, I don't like to do easy things. I like to do, like, really hard things. The harder the better, in my opinion. So, not that this was
good.
incredibly hard, but if it had been easy, it wouldn't have been worth it.
Well, I
Great
also
philosophy.
really appreciated, and this is a father aside, Oliver's aesthetic, and and I did see him. When we did his film Bagworm, which is also at South by Southwest.
Mm,
Uh, I saw this group of people and I went, I can do this thing now. I'd had the script around for a while and nobody was really biting at it. And I just said, screw it. Let's just get the money and do this thing. And I saw that group of people, but I also knew I saw Oliver's aesthetic on the movie that he was doing, as well as the group of people working on it. And I just said, I wasn't very easy at the beginning, but there was
mm,
an absolute defining moment, and I remember it very well, where I just said, yield. This is the guy who I want to direct it. Forget that he's my
mm,
son. I love the way it look. I know the look he has,
mhm,
the music he'll want, the way that he'll direct it, where scenes cut. And the hard part for me was really just saying, yield, give it up. Because it was such a baby. It
mm,
doesn't matter if he's my son, it could have been somebody else. But I had to give up this thing that I had birthed, and say, now you give it life. And that was the only hard part for me. After that, it was, Oliver, you don't know this, but maybe I've told you this, but like Not once. After usually, an actor does a pretty good take, and the director goes, "Hey, cool, man, that was really good." Oliver would go up to everybody after a good take. That was great. He didn't once. He did not once come up to me and say, "Good take, good take, Dad." You made me earn it, man. You made me fight all the way through. But I
I
respect
love
that.
it.
I respect that.
Right.
Or maybe
Now,
I've worked with you long enough to know that flaming the like blowing wind into the flames of ego is not a great direction for you. So
I love it. Great working relationship, guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
Corbin and Stephen, were you at Woodstock or were you a little too young for that?
Well, I
You
was
were
not at
there.
I was
Weirdly.
not at Woodstock, but I was at Woodstock. It was the first job really I had as a sophomore in college. I
Hmm.
went and did summer stock at the Forestburg Summer Theater in
Hmm.
Woodstock and made $10 a week.
Oh.
$10 a week, and we that was my first real experience in the whole area, and I'll never I'll never forget it. I'll never forget those people ever. Yeah.
I have an interesting Woodstock adjacent story. So we heard
Mm.
about Woodstock. How we heard about it, I still don't. Maybe it was on the radio or something. How we got
Hmm.
information back then, I still don't really remember. Um, but I'd heard about Woodstock. I had a very, very good friend who's still a friend to this day, and we heard about it. And we heard there was going to be a Woodstock in Death Valley, California. And so we went out and bought a lid, which is what was called a lid of weed, which is basically an ounce of weed, rolled 45 joints, and drove to Death Valley looking for this
Yeah.
concert. Death Valley, 110 degrees because it's August and Woodstock was in August. So this was probably late August. We were driving all through Death Valley, smoking this horrible weed and looking for a concert that didn't exist.
Oh,
And
that'll be
That's a
we
the
ended up in
next
a place called
I
episode.
love
Yeah,
it.
Furnace
that's the
Creek.
spin-off. Yeah.
That's a sequel.
We
All
ended
right.
up we ended up in a place called Furnace Creek, which is still
Okay.
exists to this day. It's
Yeah.
hot tubs. And we had a really kind of fun time, but there was no concert. We
Okay.
chased Woodstock, chasing Woodstock, I guess that would
I
be the
love
name.
it. That's a good title. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So Corbin and Stephen, obviously you guys have had such, illustrious careers. Stephen, I think the last time I spoke to you, we talked mostly about Groundhog Day, but I just wanted to see what are some of your favorite roles over the decades. Corbin.
My favorite roles. Can I tell you one of my
Yeah.
favorite Stephen Tobolowsky roles, though,
Oh
that
God.
it's not
Okay.
spoken about enough, was in what is the series about the
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley?
Silicon
Uh,
Valley.
When
Fucking
okay.
love that
he is
episode.
talking to those guys and the horses in the back are mounting each other. I don't think I've
Mhm.
ever laughed so hard
Oh my God.
at a scene. And Steven, you just played it so absolutely straight and wonderful. And their reactions, I mean, that's one of my favorite things ever. It's one of my favorite funny scenes ever. Um,
Now, I want to mention two obscure things to you guys. Steven, you were in one of my all-time favorite movies that was very unpopular, did not get a lot of love back in 1992, but Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
wow.
I love that one. It's just a fun, inventive film, and it keeps going. And you're great in it too. I wanted more of you in it, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, well,
Sam Neill, right?
yeah.
Oh my
Whoa.
Yeah.
God.
John
It's
Carpenter.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
John Carpenter directed it?
John
Yeah.
Carpenter
Awesome.
directed it,
Whoa.
and that is when I learned that you don't want to have these roles where you're really a physically active middle-aged man because they're going to want you running at night. When you see like these night shoot, be 2:40 in the morning, and I'd have to be running through the streets of San Francisco. I'm going like, oh, come on, guys. But I remember John Carpenter directed that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That was a very interesting show, and that's when I kind of
Mm.
thought like I love Sam Neill. It's like I'm gonna try to watch every movie this guy's in because I'm gonna throw your name out there, Corbino. Like Corbin, is up for anything and will do anything. One scene, I got to talk about one scene Corbin did in Woodstockers. So we're out there shooting in the damn woods of Woodstockers. We're shooting, and Corbin's doing a scene where he's drunk at night, falls, collapses, rolls in through the woods down into a creek, and it's I'm just on the road being drunk. I don't have to do much of anything. We finish shooting the scene, and everybody's like clapping, Corbin on the back and everything. And then, Oliver and the 80s go, okay, we have to have a tick check. And I'm going, what? A tick check. Oh yeah, a tick, T-I-C-K.
Oh my
Rocky
Christ.
Mountain spotted fever. So you're talking, we are shooting in this tick infested woods of Woodstock. And I'm going like, oh my God, is this really worth the paycheck? Is this really worth the journey? And, when you look back on it, like Woodstockers, it's the tick checks that are funny. It's the tick checks that you raise a toast to at the end of the day. And that's kind of, for me, Woodstockers was both the most fun and kind of a difficult shoot I've ever had. It was just terrific. Just loved it.
Gotcha. Yeah, those damn tick checks. You can't.
Tick
all right.
check, yeah.
Yes.
You were standing on the roadside, man. I'm down in the gully with leaves
I
all
know, Corbin. All the worse for you.
So, gentlemen, we only have about a minute left or so, and I wanted to do an obscure work of yours, Corbin. The Cape TV show.
Yeah.
That was awesome, I must say. Lots of fun. I was around the time I was a kid, and I was huge on NASA and space exploration. So I think that was a really great show, and I want to thank you for contributing to my childhood.
But yeah, that was a blast. That was one of the two shows that in my career that I really I have this feeling about that they just didn't become what they could. One was when Tobolowsky and I did A Whole New Ball Game, which was a wonderful sitcom. Barry Kemp driven, Judd Pillett, John Peasley wrote it. Great. I mean, the cast was
Fabulous.
Hurley, Steven. I mean, it was a wonderful cast. It was very funny. It just happened to follow Monday Night Football, so you never knew when it was on from what I take. But that was it. And we did 7 episodes, I guess. The other sad thing was the Cape, and the Cape had so much potential when I was told about it to do it, and we got complete access to being on, the Space Center. And by episode 5, I started reading the scripts, and it was like, the black guy's getting pulled over for racial profiling from a Southern cop. I thought, no, now you're going for the obvious story. You have so much drama here within this that you have to go to the set stories. And it became, I think they called it jokingly Space Watch, sort of.
Okay.
Girls.
Well, a great show. I loved it.
I loved it, but it just, I think it could have been so much more.
True. All right, gentlemen. So we're going to wrap up now. I just want to know, how can people see Woodstockers? Fantastic film. I think everyone should go see it. How can they experience it?
Well, this is a pilot that we've done with blood, sweat, tears, and a lot of crossed fingers. And we're going to see if South by Southwest generates, somebody picking it up, or generates enough for somebody to say, hey, I'll finance a season of it. I mean, ultimately, I would say it's down the line. We'll put it up. Another idea we have is just put it up there and see if they'll come. Right now, there's no direct way to see it. Again, it is a pilot. It is a very independent pilot to try to create a larger series around. But I'm sure at some point down the line, you'll see it one way or the other.
Go to South by Southwest.
Oh yeah,
yes, that's the way.
Go to South by Southwest on the 14th
next week. Yeah.
All right, great commercial. I love it.
Thanks all. That's why he's around, because I'm an idiot. Okay.
No, Corbin, Oliver, Steven, thank you so much for your time today. This is amazing. I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.